As a professional speaker and trainer, it is my job to train you how to get the audience to know, like, and trust you from the moment you start talking. Hi, I'm Steve Sapato, and you're listening to Know, Like, and Trust podcast, which is all about getting your business to be known, liked, and trusted so that you can do a lot more for yourself and for other people. Today, I'm absolutely blessed to have an expert in PR and marketing, and that's Jennifer Horspool. And Jennifer, are you right there? I see you.
I am. Thank you so much, Steve.
Yeah, and you don't get much prettier than this young woman right here. And that's the nice thing is I say young woman, but she has plenty of experience, don't you?
Yes, yes. I'm 24 years old, but I have more than 30 years experience in this industry. I don't really know how that math works, but I don't worry about the numbers. I'm a words girl.
I like it. I like it a lot. So Jennifer, tell us about your business. Tell us
Yep.
what you do and why it's important to us. Why is it important?
Yeah, so I run engagement PR and marketing, and what we do is help people get seen, known, and found by the right audiences for their expertise. So we help you build your brand. We really do like brand development. Then we do brand activation, where we're getting you into the media, in your own media, owned media, earned media, search media, all the different medias to where you can really be found when people are looking for someone who does what you do.
Okay, but in reality, I think can I just do that on social media? Can I just keep putting myself out there and people will see me and people will find me? Everybody gets found on Instagram or YouTube or sometimes on
Yeah.
Facebook still. But why would I hire you? Because I can do that on my own, right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you absolutely can do it on your own. I mean, you could also build your own house for that matter. In theory, right? And social media is an excellent tool. There's a million different channels of social media. And so, how do you know which one? Where's your audience? How do you know how to attract them properly? And a lot of people, really, the problem isn't so much that you can or cannot do your own social media and attract them. It's, are you doing the right things that are attracting your right audience? And are you actually doing them? So there are some people who have no problem whatsoever going in front of the camera and doing all the things that they need to do and saying all the right things and then doing their own editing and doing their own posting. But then how much time do you have left to do your own business? So it really starts becoming a math problem. So there's really like three main things that everyone has. You either have money, you have a network, or you have time. And so you're always trading one of those three things. If you're just starting out your business and you don't have a lot of time, you probably do want to do your own social media and your own marketing. See what you can do on your own, but go to listen to podcasts like yours, Steve, right? Go to resources that are free, study things, read books, and see what you can do on your own to start attracting your audience until you're getting a little bit of money flow, right? So then you don't want to be so much trading time for money. But if you're doing your own marketing, you're now spread even thinner. How much time do you have left to do your actual business? Then the more money you get in, then you can start paying experts. Right? Then you maybe you hire a virtual assistant, maybe you hire a social media company and PR and marketing company. Depends on what it is that you're trying to do and how fast can you grow. If you want to lean on your network, who's in your network? Who do you know that maybe you could trade time for expertise, or you could trade services or whatever like that. So you're either trading time, money, or network, using your network to grow your business.
She said several things in there, and that's you have money, you can have networking, you can have time. Very few of us have all three,
Right.
because when we're really starting to make the money, we have almost no time. And we do. The networking part is vital to your success, but it's really important for you to start to understand if you're listening to this podcast that one of the greatest challenges you will have is I'll call it brand recognition. And it's not necessarily a brand. Think of this, you are your brand. Like as a speaker, I teach my people, you are the brand. It's up to you to get yourself out there and get known. Every time you get a chance to speak, go present, go learn this, go do that. And if you go out one or two times and you aren't prepared, guess what? Nobody's going to ask you back. They're going to see you stumble and bumble your way, or they're going to see you get embarrassed. They're going to see you not handle your words properly, and you will fail as a speaker and a presenter. And you've known lots of boring presenters out there that do not know how they need to ask for help to get better. So
Yeah.
here's the part of that. That's the speaking part. Then I always recommend that all of my people would have a book to write or a book written. So if you wrote your book already, then you need to get out there and promote the book by speaking. If
Yeah.
you haven't written your book, in your speaking assignments, you have to select an expertise, a topic, and then you write your book so that you have that. And it gives you a double whammy to be able to present yourself. And here's the challenge. Once we have that, how do we make ourselves known? We have to go to Jennifer. We have to go to her and say, I don't know what I'm doing, but nobody's seeing me. And that's the biggest problem you have. Nobody see me. Nobody calls Steve Sapato up. You know, I bill myself as Steve Sapato, the most famous, unfamous speaker in America, because I spent 35 years in corporate America, not the Tony Robbins where we're out in the public. 35 years in corporate America where you taught all the corporations and the companies, but nobody heard of you outside of that small niche. And
Right.
so if you're going to go out and do your presentations, you need somebody like Jennifer who really knows how to get you visible, right, Jen?
Yeah, absolutely. It starts in, I'm going to put a ribbon through what you said and tie it into a big bow between what you do, what I do. It starts with your messaging, right? Your message is your magnet that attracts your clientele to know that they want to work with you, right? That's what's your differentiator, right? How do they know you over someone else? How do they know they want to hire Steve Sapato as their speaker coach, right? And it's based on the things that you say when you're talking. They either are like, oh, I like him and I resonate with what he's saying, and that's what attracts them to you. So everything starts with your message, and it doesn't matter if it's a stage or the media. A stage is a medium, right? A media is simply a communication tool to reach an audience, and that it could be email, it could be social media, it could be traditional media, it could be your own podcast, it could be guesting on podcasts. It's really important to know where to invest your dollars and where to invest your time and where to invest your network, to use those three things again, right? It's where should you be investing first and most to make the most dollars the quickest, because those dollars are what's going to get you to your freedom. And your freedom comes when you can start hiring experts to do the things that you need done so that you can sit in your sweet spot. If you're an excellent salesperson, then you want to be selling what your business does. If you're an excellent accountant, you might want to hire a salesperson to bring you not just leads, but actual clients that are going to pay. So there's different things. And so then if we're going to do media relations, which is a lot of what I do, is media marketing, messaging, brand experience, meaning how do people experience your brand? You talked about brand earlier, and your brand really is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So you're saying like your brand, like if you're a speaker, you are your brand. If you're a business owner, you are your brand.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, you're
Yeah.
representing.
And one of the things she just said, and this is what I tell people. I mean, I've got tons of little videos and stuff out there that says "Stop boring speakers." The brand that you leave behind is what people say to you after you leave the room or
Yeah.
after they leave the room sometimes. So if you've been boring, the people who leave the room, they might pat you on the back. They might say, "Hey, great job, Steve. You did a great job speaking today." And when they leave the room, they go, "Oh my God, he never gets any better. Oh my God, is he boring?" And that is what's going to hurt you. You won't get promotions. You won't get things that will help you grow. And certainly you're not going to be the premier speaker or presenter in your office if that's what you're doing. But
Yeah, in your office, in your business, in your wherever. And speaking skills transfer across. I mean, speaking skills matter in media, right? Like
oh yeah,
I meet people all the time that are like, I want to be on the Tonight Show. I'm like, why does the Tonight Show want to have you? How
yeah,
do they know that you're going to behave well on their stage, right? Like, first of all, you have to earn your way up to
yep,
these
yeah,
bigger stages, right? Even even ones that are used to be big but aren't so big anymore, I don't want to name names, but there's a lot of them, right? But they still might have a really good URL ranking, right? So you do want to get on those bigger stages, but you have to earn your way onto those stages, which is why it's called earned media versus paid media versus owned media. Owned media is media that you own. It's your website, it's your email. If you own a podcast like you do, if you run a magazine, whatever, like the media that you can say whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, no one can take you down. Social media is a hybrid because if they don't like what you're saying, they can take you down. Earned media, you actually have to be interesting enough, current to the topics that they're going through right now, relevant to their audience. And so you have to have messages that resonate, that people want
Oh,
to hear on that
excellent.
stage. And so you have to earn your way onto those stages. And that's the same thing with you booking, helping to book speakers onto other stages or getting them prepared and understanding that they might have to adapt that message per audience, per stage. Media and stages are exactly the same thing. You're speaking to audiences.
And it is critical that you've heard people who just don't handle themselves well. You've heard poor speakers. I was working with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying that they were a relationship expert, but they talked stilted. They talked without a flow. It was like they had to think about everything they said, and then they would say it. And you can't listen to those people for very long. I mean, sorry, but you can't. And so it's not just, and I push speaking because that's my gig.
Yeah.
But let's face it, that's speaking is also one of the first places you can make money to
Yes.
start that money flow. So when you can't, I don't know anybody who started with a book and sold enough books to make a part-time income. I just haven't. And I've known a lot of people who claim they're best-selling authors who haven't sold 50 books in their lives, much less per year, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to look at what's going to put money in your pocket. And there's a few things that will put money in your pocket right away, whether it's $50 for speaking in front of the Knights of Columbus, or $5,000 or $50,000 for speaking in front of major corporations.
Yeah.
We're going to be putting on an event. I was just telling Jennifer earlier, we're going to be putting on an event in late summer of this year, 2025, that will help us and help you learn more about becoming a great speaker. It's called Speaker Talks, and we would love to have you if you're interested to find out more. So drop me an email at steve@stevesapato.com to find out more about how you can attend our 2-day event that will help you become better at everything you're doing, no matter what your business right now. It will help you, like if Jennifer decides she wants to be involved, she will help you with your promotion. She will help you with your branding. She will help you with all that stuff. We'll have people who will teach you how and when to write the books, what you should write your books about, what you should title your talks about. If you like selling from the stage, we're going to have people who will teach you how to sell from the stage. I don't sell from the stage personally, right? I market myself out to corporations, but all those things come into play. And that's why we're on this podcast, is to try and find a way to help you learn how to be better. So, Jennifer, first of all, I'm going to interrupt myself and say, Jennifer, can you tell us how to get in touch with you?
Yes. Yeah, the easiest way is through engagementpr.com. I do give out my email, but if you start spamming me, I will report you. Jennifer at engagementpr.com is a really great way. My LinkedIn, everywhere I am, is Jennifer L. Horspool. And so I always say, whether it's my middle initial or my last name, make sure you give me my L. It is my most important letter. Not everyone gets to rank theirs, but when your last name is Horspool, you do get to rank yours.
Now that you're saying there's other Jennifer Horsepools out there?
Yeah, they're allegedly related to me. I don't necessarily know them. I know one of them, but there are others. Yeah, and so I need my Jennifer L. Horspool. You would think with a last name like Horspool, I would be branded all enough
Unique. That's
myself.
right.
But
That's right. Unique.
yeah,
Because I
no,
know nobody else has my last name, so I'm blessed, right? So that's
yeah, no. There's a lot of Horspools apparently. Apparently they're related to us. I don't know them all, but yeah, there's a
that's
lot of
cool.
us.
What's the historical background of Horspool?
It's
Germans,
English. Yeah,
English?
when I like Liverpool or Horsefield or
Oh,
like when I say that, it sort of takes the funny out of the name, but It certainly gives, it's good branding. You know what I mean? Like chances are, if you know Jennifer Horspool, chances are you know me, but you might know one of the others. And I am Jennifer L. Horspool. So, and I'm the speaker. I do PR. I make you seen, known, and found. And I'm all about really helping people grow their businesses because there's no point in being the best in your business if you're the best kept secret.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Like
Oh
that's just a shame. And it's not just a shame for you, it's a shame for everyone that could be benefiting from the services that you provide. Like, Steve, there are people who want to learn speaking from you because of your style, because of your warm character, your intelligence, your the way you frame things, the way you help to make people understand the vitalness of certain aspects of speaking, right? Like tone fluctuation for one thing. You talk about boring speakers a lot, right?
yeah.
Boring speakers are so in their heads they forget to fluctuate their voice, right? You when you know your presentation, when you know your stuff, and you don't have to be thinking about what it is that you're saying, then you can be animated enough. Even introverts. And you know what's interesting about introverts is introverts actually do better in social media promotions, like social media, organic or paid, it does not matter, than extroverts. And the reason is an introvert doesn't need the live audience. They're not feeding off the live audience. They can sit there and perform to the nobodies. In fact, a lot of radio people are actually introverts
Yes.
who never had any friends or who had very limited friends, and they just sat there in their room entertaining themselves, and all they did was grow up to do that same exact thing inside of their box, and they turned into like massive radio DJs all by themselves entertaining. It didn't matter, they don't need the feedback where extroverts need the
Right.
feedback. So it's a very interesting dynamic.
It is. And I wanted to point something out to the people who are listening too. If you're listening to this podcast, you find that we're both energized, energetic, outgoing, really and excited about what we're sharing. I've listened to so many podcasts, and you probably have too as a listener, where the people are deliberate and I call them boring, but you've listened to them and you know who's going. That's one of the things you have to avoid in everything you do. You have to show people that you're energetic. When you're showing your brand, it has to be an energized brand. If you're going to do PR and marketing, it has to be with somebody who really understands that you need your brand to stand out, not just be a brand. I mean, I drive my wife nuts, Jennifer, because we'll drive by a shopping center and I'll look over and I'll go, what does that sign say? And she has to look at it for a little while before she goes, oh, it says this. But they're putting like gold lettering on a yellow background or something like that, where you're like, well, who thought that was a good idea, right?
Yeah.
And people who don't know marketing, people who don't know public relations,
Yeah.
also don't know the designs that are going to catch people's eye. I was just on a podcast this morning where we talked about pattern interrupt.
Yes.
Whenever you're doing anything, it's a pattern interrupt. We have to interrupt people from what they're currently doing. And what I saw somebody say that if you're doing something live or a video
Yep.
on any of this stuff, you got 3 seconds to capture somebody's attention and hold it.
Yep.
But the 3 seconds to capture it. And that's what Jennifer can teach you, how to capture somebody visually, how to capture somebody with what your words say. That's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, I call it the head snap, right? Like, did what?
Yeah.
What? You know what I mean? You have to, because right now everybody's on the scroll, right? We have one of our programs that's called Stop the Scroll, because
Yeah.
you're trying to get them to stop the scroll on yours. I mean, we're all, and it doesn't matter if it's mainstream media, social media, advertise, like it's all in the same scroll now. And even your email, it's all in a scroll, and we're all just going like, how quickly can I get to a delete? What's interesting here? What's going to entertain me, right? And so people ask me all the time, like, what do I put on my social media? And so, old McDonald came up with the formula years ago because he has a farm and he has to sell chickens and cows and eggs and milk, right? And old McDonald's formula is what? EIEIO, right? So it's
Yeah.
education, information, entertainment, and inspiration. One or any combination of those four things, and your audience, when they
Wait,
see it,
wait.
they go,
Go,
oh, that's
go
for
back.
me.
Go back and say that again.
So education,
EIEIO, and that's
EIEIO, Old
okay.
McDonald,
You people need to write this down.
EIEIO, education, information, entertainment, and inspiration.
Now I got to
It's
write it down.
one or any of
Education,
those four things. And when you
information.
do those and you're speaking directly to an audience that cares about the messages that you're delivering through those EIEI, right? Then they say, oh, that's for me. Oh, I want that one. I stop the scroll on that one. Oh, I want that. We all like a big O,
Okay,
don't we?
I'm going to go over it again so everybody had time. It's in education,
Yes,
information,
yes. Entertainment
uh-huh,
and inspiration.
inspiration.
Yes. Like even Oprah Winfrey back in the day would say she's in the edutainment industry, the edutainment,
Yeah.
right? Education, entertainment. And the purpose is to influence or to inspire people to take some sort of action. You're trying to inspire people to take action to attend your speaker event this summer. I'm trying to inspire people to be bold enough to dare to build their brand. That's where we get brand development, brand activation, brand recognition,
And
and brand elevation.
I'm going to interrupt again because brand is so vital. We all think, okay, I'm going to make a logo that's my brand. Here's
Right.
my brand. Here's my colors that are my brand.
Yep.
The answer is absolutely not. The brand is when somebody says something about you or your company. So, example, if I said, what's the name of your company, Jennifer?
Engagement, PR, and marketing.
But right behind you, it says
Yeah.
engagement. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it said engine. That's why I wanted to ask.
No, engagement,
Okay. So
engagement.
if somebody said, hey, you need to be more engaging, I hope the first thing right now that comes to your mind would be Jennifer Horspool, right?
Exactly.
If somebody says, oh man, you got to meet this great speaker, I would think I would love it for you guys to remember Steve Sapato. But if when I say I go by, I'm the most famous, unfamous speaker in America, I've used that for several years. And I was out kayaking one time. And I mean, I'm out in the wilderness kayaking, and I met somebody coming the other way through one of those. Anyway, it's a tunnel that you go through when you kayak down here in Florida. And, they're on the other side paddling the other direction. And they looked up and they went, hey. I went, hi. And they went, you're that unfamous guy, right? Bingo. I went, yes,
Branding.
yes, I
That's
am.
branding. That's branding,
That's right. So
right?
come
When you
come up
branded
with
the
things. Yeah.
phrase.
Get with Jennifer and she will help you find
Yes,
your path to branding. And
yes,
that's what's going to be vital for this is that you get with the right people,
yep,
spend a few bucks. And I don't want you to spend 10 or $20,000. I've done that and walked away going, well, what the hell happened? And so I want you to spend a few bucks though, and get with the right people who can help you absolutely change your life and your
yes,
company and your organization.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways. It's whatever your budget is. We work with people's budgets and get you started. It might be coaching, if you don't have very many dollars, then we start with coaching. What do you need to do? Maybe if you have even less dollars, we start and we help you develop your own plan. We guide you along, right? And then when you have more dollars, you don't have the time anymore, right? You don't have the time, so then you pay for it. Or you're networking, you're using your network. If you have even less dollars and less time, then you're trading off, things with who's in your network. What can I do for you? What can you do for me, right? And so everything is either time, money, or network. And so when you're using those three in the right, I don't know, recipe, right?
Yep.
To get going, then once your wheels are going, the hardest part of anything is getting started.
Oh yeah.
Right? The hardest part of anything is getting started. And so by getting started, but one of the things you talked about though is if you sucked as a speaker, no one wants you back, and everything, which, it's if you've smarted before, I've smarted out loud many times, many, many, many times, I say tub thumping, Chubbawamba tum thumping, that song, that is my theme song. But you know what? Get back up again. It's not how bad you suck in the beginning. It's how great you become by getting back up again, by doing it again, by training yourself, by learning new habits, by going again. But don't just go again in the same thing. Who I don't know if it was Einstein. We attribute it to Einstein. Says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You want to get back up again, but you want to try it differently, right? Like,
Absolutely.
okay, that didn't work. what will work. Let me learn some more. Let me learn from the gurus, right? Let me learn from people who did smart already. They fell on their booties before and they got up and they learned something different. And I learn from the best. I am always learning. I'm always going to events like your speaker event because I want to get better. No matter how good I get, I can always get better. And
You
it
know, and I
doesn't
think
mean I'm not going to fall again.
absolutely, that's critical. I had somebody today, when we talked about age a little bit, I told them my age. They went, "No way," and I went, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, how do you attribute your age?" And it's not how I look; it's how I think and feel, and it's because I'm constantly learning.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, next weekend I've got a thing scheduled in Tampa that I'm going to. I'm going to attend a speakers event. Now,
yeah,
so sorry, most people think when they get my kind of experience that you have nothing more to learn.
right. No,
No,
there's
no,
always,
there's always somebody you can learn something from. And I'm going to this 1 day event out in Tampa. Didn't cost hardly any money to go, $90 or something. But I'm going to go there with the intent to learn one new thing from these people who were there. That's what people don't do. They go, one of the great challenges for speakers is that they say, "I don't need to learn. I've been speaking for 10 years or something." Somebody said something the other day that the National Speakers Association, which has thousands of members, they went to the big whatever event,
yeah.
and they said, 70% of all the National Speakers Association speakers make less than $50,000 a year.
Oh
That means
gosh.
all of them should be learning and attending something where
Right.
somebody can teach them how to make another $10,000 next
Yeah.
year, 20,000 the year after that. But we all get locked in. Whatever you're doing in your profession, we're locked into. I think this is the right way. I tell people all the time, Jennifer, when I first started um, a business back when I was 25, 26 years old, and I went bankrupt out of that in 2.5 years. It was because I'd worked at a business like that. I'd done this kind of thing before, but I'd never run a business like
Right.
that. So I went bankrupt, lost my $160,000. And when you're 25,
That's,
26 years old,
yeah,
that's everything
yeah,
you got.
yeah.
And what I learned out of that was you keep having to look for a mentor or a coach. There's
Hmm.
no one who's successful without a mentor or a coach. And Jennifer can be your coach to business success by showing you how to become more visible. Jennifer, we're going to wrap this up. We've been here about 25 minutes. And any wonderful words of wisdom that you can share with us before we pop off, I'd love to. And then when you finish that up, just give us your credentials again, how we get a hold of you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, really just be brave enough to suck at something new. Just know that you're not going to be an expert right off the bat, which is why you have to start on smaller stages, right? Whether it's a cable station, talking to print media, you want to start in the safety areas and work your way up. You
Yeah.
want to get your messaging down. You want to refine it and work with experts that can help you with your messaging, like you for stages, right? With like me for media, like me for marketing, right? Your marketing is your magnet. And so you want to work with experts to get those basics down. We can help show you where to spend your money first and then where to spend your money next, right? It's not just your money, it's your time and your network. So realize you have a full cycle of resources. And then figure out how do you want to be known, by whom, and so what. Those are your keys in messaging, right? And then take action. Like it's really easy to dream and think you want to do all these things. And if you go and you learn, but if you never actually take action, you're going to be in that same hamster wheel, spinning and spinning. Coaches,
Absolutely.
experts like us, Steve, in our respective industries, help you take the right action so that you can get off the hamster wheel and actually go towards your dreams. And so I
Absolutely.
am Jennifer L. Horspool. I'm on social media at Jennifer L. Horspool, wherever you look for me. On Instagram, I'm the go-to expert because we turn you into the go-to expert of your industries. You can email me at jennifer@engagementpr.com. Do not spam me. I will report you. And you can go to engagementpr.com or look me up on LinkedIn. That's really where you'll see where a lot of my expertise is and a lot of the accomplishments that we do. And I thank you so very much for hosting me, Steve. You're always such a joy.
This has been a pleasure. And I thank everybody for tuning in. Remember to click subscribe so you start really getting into things that are going to help you learn and grow. And that's what we're here for. You can reach me at steve@stevesapato.com. Any questions you have, we'd love to hear from you. Certainly go to Jennifer's website, click and talk to her. Ask her questions. If you say, well, I know I can't afford that person, it doesn't matter. Sometimes a conversation will help you break out of your mold so that 6 months down the road, you can afford people like her. And that's the key. Always ask. If you ask for more, you never know what somebody's going to give you. It's been a pleasure serving you today, and I hope you have a fabulous week. God bless. This has been Know, Like, and Trust podcast. I hope you got at least one tip from the experts on this show. Please hit the subscribe button so you're notified every week about a new episode that can change your life and your business. If you want to learn how to be more confident or how you can become a great speaker, just go to stevesapatoseminars.com or speakertalks.com to find out more about how we teach people to succeed in their lives.